Welcome back to another day of working on Lenny.
Lenny is our 1963 Land Rover Series 2A. We pulled him out of the bush where he sat for over 20 years and we're attempting to get him back on the road. He's got some issues though, including a rusty frame and an engine that's seized. So today, we're carrying on the work to try and resurrect this little legend. Now we figured this engine sat for so long that the pistons themselves fused to the inside of the block. I tried as many tricks as I could to get this thing to crack, but it just didn't seem to help. I put some ATF into the cylinders of this thing to try and help get those pistons unstuck from the walls. I didn't have any acetone at the time, but I've got some now. So we're gonna mix this up, pour that in, and let that sit as well. Hopefully that gives us a bit of help here. Considering there's already ATF in the cylinders, I'm going to have to just estimate what a 50-50 mix would be based on guessing how much I've already put in there. So we're gonna do our best, put it in there and go from there. Now this 50-50 mix of acetone and ATF is supposed to help soak the pistons and the cylinder walls and dissolve any of the rust and corrosion that might be fusing them together. Now you can see me here deciding not to pour acetone all over Lenny's front fender. While we like the patina, I don't want to add to that. This mixture ends up looking a little bit like a lava lamp, and I'm just giving it a real good shake to make sure it's all mixed up before getting it into these cylinders. I spilt some acetone mixture down here, and I've been just like giving it a little wipe. Look at the color of the engine. Look what it used to look like. Maybe it'll look like that one day. Okay, so that's all 4 cylinders done, filled with the ATF and acetone mixture. I ended up filling this 3 separate times and pouring it into all the cylinders until I saw it kind of like cresting out of where the spark plug hole is. So I think that should be enough. And I just realized while looking for a container that the acetone wouldn't eat, I found this glass maple syrup bottle. It doesn't really get much more backyard Canadian than that. Anyway, we're back to the wait and see game. Let that mixture sit in there and we'll go from there. Next on the agenda is the frame, or chassis, depending on where you're from. As you can see here, it's a little worse for wear. Lenny is a West Coast car, and he sat for over 20 years in the Canadian rainforest, so it's no wonder it looks as bad as it does. Like so many projects that end up being passion projects, a lot of what we do doesn't make a lot of sense. Including, in our case, I flew over 650 kilometers to meet Jack to go rent a trailer and find a frame from a part of the province that gets significantly less rain than ours. We ended up scoring a lot of extra parts, and after the trip home on the ferry, we're now attempting to get this thing ready to roll. Now, after stripping what was on this frame, we found some stuff we weren't expecting, but we figured since we had it, we'd try patching it up and see how far we got with that. So here it is, all stripped down. Our plan here is to go through, kind of just scuff the top of this, clean it up. Now, there are some issues with this rear cross member here, but you can get like a full replacement one, which we will probably do eventually. What I'm going to do now is take the grinder out, give it a little buzz, clean it up, and put some fresh paint on it. And before anybody chirps me, yes, I'm wearing a mask. I'm not into getting 6-year-old dust and debris and rust and goodness knows what's in that paint in my lungs, so let's do it. Now, I started this part of the project, but in the back of my head I'm thinking, hang on, there's more fabrication to do, and it's really hot. Maybe I should hold off for now. So for the time being, I'll just put some paint on the parts I may have exposed and move on for now.
There's a nut on that side. Wrong size.
Now begins the process of final disassembly, stripping all of the axles, everything else off this thing so we can really get in there, give it a good clean, fix what we need, and give it some paint.
And that one's not that size.
Really?
Cool. You don't spin around the bush when all the nut sizes are different.
Jack's right. This chassis was really strange. So many of the nuts and bolts on this thing that you thought should match side to side were totally different. Different sizes, different threads, different pitches. I think we're going to need a new hardware kit for this thing.
Nice work. I love it when a good plan comes together. What's that from? Is this supposed to be threaded? Look. See, this one's not threaded, and that one is threaded.
Tech us.
Everyone in the comments telling me I need a bigger gun. Yeah, I know.
Could be a bigger shop.
Maybe.
What's wrong with our little pop-up shop? Is it threaded? It is! Look at that one's threaded too. Cool, so that must be like the retaining one.
A Land Rover thing.
Land Rover things.
Well, I'm assuming that's how it's supposed to be. And if it is, then you learn something new every day. Okay, let's put the wheels back on. Yeah. Came off pretty easy. Oh, guarantee that's a different size. Yup. No, this bolt's too long. It's like, I don't think I'm going to be able to, I'm going to have to like buzz that off.
So Jack ended up just using his cutoff wheel to buzz these bolts out of the hangers. They're mismatched, they're seized in there, we're gonna need new ones anyway. And with those out of the way, it was time to move on to the rear hangers and the steering. And before we knew it, the axle was ready to come out. Now that we've got this frame all cleaned up, we're gonna have a better idea of what we're working with here, so let's have a look. Now this frame is significantly better than Lenny's. As you saw previously at the beginning of the video, all of this on Lenny is completely rusted out. This one is a lot more solid. As we've mentioned a couple times, this back cross member here is definitely going to be needing to be replaced. But other than being a bit crusty here and there, it's a pretty solid foundation.
Okay, so Heather already mentioned early in the video that I did some repair here. It kind of looks similar to this. This has had a horrible repair done on it with some sticky goop stuff. It looks horrendous underneath. So anyway, I cut that out and did that repair. And while I continue that, Heather's going to continue on cleaning and prepping the frame for paint.
We spent the rest of the evening fussing over this chassis, pulling off all the finer little bits and pieces. It's amazing when you think you're done something and there's still more to take off. We were left with a pile of parts that we're hoping to reuse, while Jasper and Reggie wait patiently in the background. So there it is, one totally stripped down frame, ready for us to tackle it tomorrow. Good morning. We're back out here for another day of frame prep. We are hoping to get this thing mostly in paint by the end of the day.
Here I am out here again working on this frame. I have decided that I'm actually going to cut the battery tray off just temporarily, just to aid in the cleaning process and it's just a nightmare to try and get under there while it's still on the frame. So I'm going to cut that off, and then for all you purists out there, we are going to actually put it back on. It is the best place to have the battery after all. So let's get started. I've done as much as I can on the top side of this frame, so now it's time to flip it over so I can get the bottom part. Okay, that was a mission, but we got the frame flipped over, upside down, and now we can start to clean up the underside of the frame.
Now that Jack's got the chassis flipped upside down, you can get a better idea what we're dealing with under here. Lots of crud, lots of rust, but by now you kind of get the idea. Clean, scrape, grind, repeat, and prepare this thing for paint and repairs. And get rid of whatever this is.
Man, I'm probably filthy looking right now, but I've done the majority of the cleaning on the frame. You may have noticed a couple imperfections in the frame, like this. This is damage that we do intend on fixing. Still has a lot of rigidity to the frame, so if this does end up becoming our good frame, then we will look at replacing those, but for now we are going to replace the outriggers because they are pretty rotten through, and Heather doesn't know this yet, but I have new outriggers on order, so we're going to go ahead and cut those off. Dude, you see how much crud is in here? It's a lot of crud in there. There's actually a great opportunity to clean up underneath where the outrigger was because it's looking pretty crusty. As you can see, we've measured the distance from this outrigger over to where this one was originally, so we know where to put the new one. It's a good thing we cut those outriggers off because there's a bit of rust underneath where the outrigger was on the frame, so we'll have to get that all fixed up. I guess we're getting the welder out.
Repairing smaller patches like this on these Land Rover series frames is actually pretty straightforward. They came from factory just as 4 pieces of steel welded together. So if you take your time, cut out one section at a time, it's really pretty straightforward if you have some basic fabrication tools and knowledge. So here Jack's just using the piece he cut out from the frame as a stencil for the new piece that he's about to weld in.
I've got the new piece all cut out. It's in there, it's all mocked up. Let's start welding. Now, I'm not going to grind down the welds. Some of the welds aren't great, but they're good enough, and I'm not a professional welder by any means, but this is going to be good enough for this. So I'm not going to grind down the welds like I mentioned, just because grinding them down actually will weaken what strength there is in the welds, so there's no need to do that. So I just went out and bought a generic frame paint. I'm going to see if I can get a nice coat of paint on the bottom side of this chassis before we end up turning it back over and doing the top side.
This paint that Jack picked up is supposed to inhibit any new rust and neutralize anything left over, and it'll also provide a good barrier against any elements in the future. So here's our final product. We got as much paint on it as we could, leaving some of that bare metal you can see there for parts that we're planning on fixing soon.
Okay, so that's about as far as I can go with this frame today. We are waiting on a big order of parts to show up from Three Brothers that has basically everything that we need to complete the rest of the frame.
So Jack hasn't even told me what's in this order, so you guys are gonna have to tune in next week because it's gonna be a surprise for me as well. If you guys like this video, please give it a thumbs up, leave us a comment, let us know what you think, and thanks so much for watching. We'll see you on the next one.
You didn't tell them to subscribe, but that's okay.